Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my brother from the same mother, my brother Alex. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Positive Sports Podcast number 85. We're gonna pay our dues. We're gonna pay our dues real quick. We're gonna pay our dues to ourselves. Make sure you go check out all 84 episodes of the past. Catch us on YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Google Play. Go ahead and binge watch. This is episode number 85. If you're joining us, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Comment as we go along in the show. Let's get right into it, man.
If you want to reach the show, you can email us at positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of me, you can do so on Twitter at emontana21. And if you want to get a hold of this guy, you can do so on Twitter as well, Brooklyn Gaucho1. That's the number one.
The number one. So I thought we, since the trade deadline, the Major League Baseball trade deadline is approaching here in a few days, I thought we'd play a little game. Little general manager game.
It is really the only topic of conversation with the way these races are going.
Yeah.
I mean, once you pass the All-Star game and 4 of the 6 divisions are damn near double-digit leads, there's not much to talk about. And the wild card,
the leads have shrunk in a few divisions.
A little bit, yeah.
So there's some hope for some late baseball season magic, or some team goes on a run like the Cardinals have done in the past, like the Oakland Athletics have done in the past.
Well, like the Giants are right now, right?
The
Giants playing good ball right now.
Yeah.
So
what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick one team from the National League and one team from the American League each, and it could be a team that's in the lead in the division. It could be a team that is trailing in the division, making a push for the wild card. Any team that's kind of in it mathematically. Pick a team, and
everyone's in it mathematically, but we'll say that are reasonably in the hunt.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Not the Orioles.
Right. No. We won't talk
Although
about
I think they could make some moves here to really bolster that lineup.
Yeah.
And maybe instead of finishing 50 games out, maybe only finish 40 games out.
Right. They can improve their draft position for next year.
I mean, as bad as they are, aren't they going to draft first like forever?
Probably. We'll see. But right now, you're going to play GM, and we'll start with the American League.
Okay.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first because I don't. To me, there's not a whole lot to do. I feel like in the American League, it's a lot of posturing for the playoffs. Like the Yankees may make some moves, but they're just going to make themselves stronger for the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. The Astros may do something, but I feel like they're just going to make themselves stronger.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those moves, and I feel like most of the American League's kind of given up. There's even the wild card race really only comes down to, I think, 3 teams really.
Yeah.
Boston, Tampa Bay, and the loser of Minnesota, Cleveland. Right? So it's going to be those 3 teams. Those 3 teams are going to fight it out for 2 spots. So even the wild card race, I feel, is kind of, you got the Angels and the Rangers that are 5+ games out. So there's not much there. So I think it's a big deal to win the division. Obviously, you don't want to go into a 1-game playoff scenario. So that brings me to the Central.
Okay.
And the Twins have been the Twins are certainly, I think, a bit of a first half surprise. A little bit of that was the injuries that struck the Indians, and they were able to get a nice big lead. They were up around 10 games at one point. Yeah. It's whittled down now to 2, I believe.
2 after today because the Indians lost.
The Indians have come back, but the Twins are fighting to stay in this division hunt and possibly the playoff hunt as well.
Yeah.
Look, the Twins, I think it's pretty simple with the Twins. The Twins need some pitching help.
Yeah.
Desperately. They can hit. I mean, the fastest team to 200 home runs. They did it in 103 games or something ridiculous like that. The previous record was 122. So they're raking the ball. I mean, the hitting is not the problem. I think they need another frontline starter, and as is true every year, we say this every year, they could use some bullpen help.
Right.
Everyone can, I think. Who do they go for? What can they get their hands on? I don't know what their farm system is like. Do they have prospects that they can flip for a Marcus Stroman, for example, a Noah Syndergaard, who I think is on the block with the Mets. A month ago we would have said Madison Bumgarner as well, but with the Giants playing well, when we get to the National League, we may not include him in that conversation. If I'm the Twins, look, you did some spending in the offseason. You kind of revamped that team a little bit. You bolstered it. I think you got to take the next step. You got to make a move here at the trade deadline. And I think Stroman is a good addition. Stroman is a good pitcher. He's stuck in Toronto where I don't think he wants to be there. They haven't been competitive in that AL East for a while, it seems like. It's tough. Stroman, I think, would be great. I don't know. I know I mentioned Syndergaard, and I know we're going to talk about him a lot, but I just don't know that the Mets are actually going to deal him.
Yeah, I don't know what the Mets are going to do.
I'm to the point where I think the Mets think that they can get, every team's top 4 prospects for Syndergaard, and teams aren't going to do it. And they're going to end up not trading them. That's my gut feeling. So if I'm Minnesota, I turn my attention to Stroman because I think that is a very doable trade.
Yeah, the Twins, I agree with you. I think the Twins really should make a move. I mean, might as well go for it. I just feel like in the American League and more so in the National League, there's plenty of teams that, this might be the season to really make a push. Even the bottom feeders that are, under 6 games out of the wild card. I mean, they're in it right now. I mean, why not make a move and go for it? All you need is a little bit of help to just get into the playoffs. That's all you really want to do, right?
And if you're 6 games out right now, you got 60 games to play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a healthy stretch.
Right.
If you go on a run, I mean, something can happen.
Or if you're a team like the Twins, I mean, if you get honestly, I can't even name a starter on their team right now. But if let's say, for example, they go out and get Stroman or Bumgarner or just someone that is reliable, that has some playoff experience like Bumgarner, somebody that can get you deep into games and give your bullpen a little bit more of a rest. So yeah, I mean, I think the Twins is a great team to that should.
And in the case of someone like Stroman, I mean, I don't recall the Twins' rotation, but Stroman would be pretty much a 1 for them.
Yeah,
I mean, Stroman is an all-star pitcher.
Yeah, probably a 1. When I look at the American League, the Yankees could use some pitching. I think they're a little bit thin on pitching. Their team ERA is not all that great. I think no one on there. I mean, Tanaka, who's probably their best pitcher, has like a 4-something ERA. And all the other starters are Paxton, Happ, Sabathia. All those guys are not having great seasons. We've seen what the Yankees have done, the injuries. They've overcome that. They've had big leads, a big lead throughout most of the season, all of the season so far. Boston is a team that can make some moves. The Rays, but I'm also gonna stay in the Central. And as far as the Indians have come, they were mostly 10 games out for the first few months of the season, and right now they're 2 games out. As of today, their pitching is good. They have good pitching.
Yeah, they do.
Right? I think they lead the majors in complete games with 4. They lead in shutouts with 11. So they have the pitching. I think their issue is offense. I think they need to go out there and get a get an outfielder. They don't have. I think Carlos Santana might be their best hitter for average with just over 300. So it's not a potent lineup that can go out there and score a lot of runs. Of course, you don't have to when you have good pitching, but there's also talk about the Indians possibly trading Bauer or someone. So I mean, I think adding an extra bat, an outfield bat, would really benefit the Indians and kind of push them over the hump and win that division so they can secure a home game.
I feel like they're going to win that division anyway. Remember, in the beginning of the season, they battled through a lot of injuries. Remember, Lindor started the season on the IL.
Right.
And I think a lot of that hitting is starting to come around. It's going to take some time, but I think that as they're getting healthier, they're starting to hit more and more, and that's why you're seeing them move up in the standings. The pitching situation with them is fantastic throughout, right? They've got a good bullpen and a good starting crew. It should be. I think they're going to win the division, and that's why I picked the Twins, because I think the Twins have more to lose if they don't make a move
right
here. Their bullpen is by committee. They've got a guy with 15 saves, a guy with 10 saves. I mean, they're doing it. They're putting people. They're cobbling together a bullpen, and they've got Ordizi. Is that his name?
Jake Odorizzi. For who?
Yeah, the starting pitcher. They've got Berrios and Ordizi, and that after that,
I couldn't tell you another pitcher.
After that, it's nothing.
By the way, a player that the Indians, since I mentioned outfield, this guy Nicholas Castellanos, the outfielder of the Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
He's only 27 years old. Do you want to see his stats for the past 3 seasons? It might shock you. He's got 60 home runs. Now, this is 2017, 2018, and a little bit
2.5 seasons.
Right, 2.5 seasons.
College.
He's got 60 home runs.
It's pretty good.
227 RBIs. Batting .283, a .336 on-base percentage, and he's played 157 or more games. I mean, that's pretty damn good.
Not only is it's better than you think, because remember, half of those games are in Comerica Park in Detroit, which is
True.
Not a hitter's ballpark.
Yeah.
Huge foul territory,
Right.
Massive center field. Those numbers, if he goes someplace else, those numbers will get even better.
I was surprised when I seen those
Put
stats.
him in Colorado.
Yeah, no shit. Or in, like, Yankee Stadium.
Oh, Yankee Stadium. Going back to the East,
American League?
yeah, the American League East, you mentioned. I think the Red Sox have to do something. They're on the Red Sox and the Yankees both have made it this far this year on the power of hitting, right? They outslug teams, and this series that they've had this weekend with the Red Sox winning all 3 games so far, and they're playing tonight, goes to prove it. I mean, they've been high-scoring affairs. The 2 games in London were high-scoring affairs. The series earlier this year in New York was a high-scoring affair. So they hit a ton when they play each other, but they've been hitting against everybody. The Red Sox problem has been a little bit of inconsistent starting pitching. Sale and Price, they haven't quite got there, but their bullpen's atrocious. I mean, they've got to have. If they don't have the worst bullpen in the American League, I would be surprised. I'd be shocked. I would be shocked because they blow games in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning like, I mean, it's like Halloween and they're handing out candy. Only it's wins.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They've got to do something, and then once they do something, once they get into the playoffs again, there's a team that knows what to do when they get there. They could be deadly in the playoffs, even as a wild card.
Yeah, especially with that good offense of theirs.
Yeah.
We can shift over to the National League now.
I'll let you go first in the National League. There's so many problems.
The National League is tough because, I mean, there's a lot of teams that have, you got the Central where you got 3 teams that are within 3 games, 2 games. You got
I think it's 1 game now.
You got the National League, which has the Braves in front now with The Nationals have been slowly creeping up throughout this past month or so. The Phillies have kind of fallen back, but they're only 6.5 games out. So I don't think that's much, especially considering when those teams will be playing each other and the Mets and the Marlins, who are at the bottom of that division. And, the West, I mean, that one's pretty much over. 15 games up, the Dodgers are on whoever's in second place. It doesn't really matter.
So let me ask you about the West, because that brings up an interesting topic. You said at the beginning of this, some of these bottom feeder National League teams, go ahead and shoot your shot and try to get there. Yeah?
Hold on.
Breaking news.
I think I may have some. I'm getting a call from a GM actually.
Well, do you need to step out and take it? I'll take over the show for a while.
Hello. Wait. Hello.
Are you ready?
Hello. You're calling the Positive Sports Podcast. We're playing a game. We're in the middle of a game here.
GM of the day.
Yeah. How can I help you?
All right. What do you need? Who do you want me to be a GM for?
Is this our illustrious cousin Jay?
I think it is.
The one and only, man.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good.
Hey, listen. So we're sitting here talking about, the trade deadline's a few days away. We're talking about these teams and what they need. We just talked about the American League. I know you're more of a National League guy. And look, let's not mince words here. You're a Philly guy. What do the Phillies need?
Homer, through and through.
That's right. Tell us what the Phillies
Get out
need.
the Eagles through World Champ. Oh wait, that was last year, my bad.
Wrong season, Jay. So tell us, man. Obviously, if you were the GM of a team, it would probably be the Philadelphia Phillies. Am I right?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's it.
Okay.
The mess and run to the ground.
Well, thank you. Those are very kind words. I wouldn't expect less from you, cousin Jay. So the Phillies, there was a lot of talk this season about their offense. They got Harper. They have treaded water. They're only 6.5 games out of the division. They're in it, right? So why don't let's play GM. You're the GM of the Phillies. Are you buying? Are you selling? What does the team need? What do the Philadelphia Phillies need to make this push, this playoff push?
Pitching. They have no starting pitching. They got Aaron Nola. He's not the same guy he was last year. They need an entire bullpen. Injuries come up, but I don't think these guys were any good to begin with. So I don't know why you would buy. I think you flame out. I see no chance of that winning anything in the playoffs.
So you mentioned pitching. If you had to go get a starter, I mean, out there that is possibly on the trading block, who would you attempt to sign and trade or trade for?
Yeah, right. Well, it's a tough thing right now, right? Because you had the Indians with Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer is a solid pitcher, but the Indians are hanging right in there. I think they're 2 games back.
Yeah.
So they're hanging in there. So I mean, if you're a Twins fan, I can see how you are okay with that move, right? Like, nuts. And then same thing with the Giants, right? Madison Bumgarner. Hold on a second, Franco. Madison Bumgarner. He's he's a stud pitcher and he's the playoff money guy. But the Giants are kind of hanging in there and making it tough, right? So
yeah.
The two big fish in the pond. So.
What other big name pitchers are out there? We mentioned Stroman and Syndergaard earlier. Who else do you think might be on the move from a starting block perspective?
Well, Stroman. I mean, did you guys hear he went to the Mets?
Oh wait, are you breaking news here on the Positive Sports Podcast?
I'm breaking news, man. I'm breaking news right now.
Whoa, hold on. What? Can you repeat that?
He got dealt to the Mets.
Is that official?
Yes, 100% official.
Are you serious?
Yes, that's serious.
What are they doing? What are the Mets doing?
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Does that mean they got a nice little package of minor leaguers coming for 4, and then along that.
So the deal is done. Stroman to the Mets, and the Mets gave up prospects.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even see what the Mets gave up.
Wait,
it was a done deal. Stroman to the Mets.
I would really like to know who those prospects are because I thought we gave them up for like Robinson Cano and Edwin Diaz, but whatever.
Well, look.
Well, yeah, you definitely don't. Hold on, let me pop this up real quick. But so other guys that you said were available. Stroman, he's out there. I mean, who's out there in the bullpen though?
For the Phillies?
No, it's just in general in Major League Baseball. Who are the bullpen guys that are available out there that are good?
I mean, if you want bullpen guys, you probably got to talk to the Rays. They love bullpenning. But I have no idea who's out there as far as bullpen.
Considering the injury situation in Tampa, I wouldn't be surprised if they turn around and sell. I mean, I know they're in it, but I mean, they've really been bit by the injury bug lately. Snell's on the IL.
Yeah.
And it has not gone well for them in the last month.
All right, so as a Phillies fan, do you think there's any appetite or any possibility of getting rid of Jake Arrieta? Does anybody think he has anything left in the tank? And we keep the salary, take him all apart, take him?
If the Phillies turn to be sellers, someone will take Arrieta.
I would think, right? But their team's back in the wild card. I mean, that's what would set eyeballs. They have no chance.
Look, if you're the Twins, why wouldn't you do Arrieta?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because apparently the Stroman is off the table for the Twins.
Yeah. Now that Stroman's gone.
Your idea is just...
That was a great idea, too.
If you guys are just tuning in, we got Cousin Jay. He called. He wants to be the GM of the Phillies. Shocker, that's right.
Hey, Jay, while we have you on the line...
What's up?
I know you're a little biased. Aside from the Phillies, who's going to win the NL East? Do the Nationals have a chance?
It's the Braves versus the Dodgers. NLCS locked up. I think the Dodgers choke it. I think the Dodgers go on, maybe even win the World Series. I think they're that good. Yeah. I don't want to say it. I think they're legit, and they're going to be good for a long time too.
That is a relatively young team, but as we say that, they also have a lot of good postseason experience. They are really kind of the formula for what could be I don't want to say dynasty because you got to win some World Series before you're a dynasty, but they're certainly trending that way.
Yeah, I don't know what their minor league system looks like, but it's always good. And then if they have some kind of stud pitcher floating around down there, man, it's a wrap. Watch out, dude. That's tough.
Yeah, look what Walker Buehler's doing over there. He's having a great season.
Yep. And
it's really going unnoticed.
Yeah, well.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because all we talk about is Bellinger and Yelich. I mean, that's the conversation. Any conversation about players in the NL, it always revolves around Bellinger and Yelich. I mean, we're not talking about anyone else in the National League. And I get it. I mean, those two guys are phenomenal, but yeah, there are a lot of other ones that are going through. Hey Jay, since we got you on the NL East. The Nationals could make a push, certainly for the wild card if they're not going to win the division. What do they need? It seems to me like they have plenty of pitching. They've got plenty of hitting. I almost don't understand why they're not better than they actually are at this point.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the starting pitching is that's probably the best in baseball. Maybe them or the Dodgers. They're right up there. But bullpen, I guess. I mean, that's the only place that you have. But who doesn't need a better bullpen, right? It's baseball now. It's new baseball. Bullpens are deep. You go. I mean, there's like 7 guys pitching every night. I look at the box score, so
yeah,
you need bullpen now. That's the way the game is.
Imagine if they got one more starter to go with Scherzer, Strasburg, and Corbin. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Strasburg's having a fantastic season too. He bounced back nicely.
Yeah, overshadowed by Scherzer, who is just unreal.
Right.
Hey, switching gears a little bit, let's talk about the American League. My argument has been that any moves that we see in the most of the moves that we see in the American League are really going to be to bolster for the playoff run. teams like the Yankees and the Astros. What moves, we talked about the Yankees a little bit earlier, what do the Astros have to do to kind of really solidify themselves as the team to come out of the American League?
They need to stay healthy. Get a better training staff. Because those guys stay healthy, they're the class of the American League, I think. And pitching-wise, the starting pitching is solid. Bullpen doesn't seem to have too many glaring holes. I think they're a solid team. I think the fact you stay put and roll with what you got and hope you stay healthy.
Yeah, I almost feel like the Astros are not interested in making any moves, which is kind of weird for a team that's very obviously in the playoff picture to not be interested. But
they're a complete team.
Yeah,
they've
got clutch hitting, they've got defense, starting pitching. Their bullpen is pretty good. I agree with Jay. At this point, I think they're the most complete team in the American League. But yeah, health is a bit of an issue.
Yep.
But they got Correa back, and he promptly hit a grand slam. So maybe they are getting healthy.
I like that Correa. Something about him, man. I think he's such a good ball player. He doesn't seem to put it all together. A lot of his injuries, but I think he's one of those guys who's going to have a career.
Yeah. That whole rib injury was kind of an oddball thing. I really don't know. Obviously I don't know, but I find it very hard to believe that a massage could break a rib.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll have to ask Robert Kraft about massages and how they work.
Yeah, but
or whatever the place is called.
Robert Kraft broke something else on his massage. It wasn't a rib.
Yeah, he's definitely cracking all that stuff.
Alrighty, Cousin Jay. Well, hey man, I appreciate you calling in to the show. First time caller, about time.
Yeah, you are our first phone guest.
There you go. Yeah, I think Phil did that. Note to everybody, they don't put me on the screen because I'm so much better looking than them.
Yeah, you're the perfect radio guy, Too ugly to be on TV.
Yeah, I gotta pay for radio.
Yeah, exactly. All right, buddy. Well, good luck to the Phillies.
All right, man. Keep up the good work on the podcast. I love listening to Noah every week at work.
Hey.
Tuesdays before you guys put it on. It's a good show. Keep doing a good job, man. And,
hey, cuz.
Phillies are cooked.
Hey, Cuzzo, real quick, you got a Twitter handle you want to shout out?
I don't even know what it's like, a Luma hobby or some shit like that. I don't know, man. I only go on there and bitch about Donald Trump. So.
All right, why don't everybody go and try Havstradamus?
No, I'm pretty sure it's a Luma hobby, bro.
No, it's a Luma. I think it's a Luma hobby.
A Luma hobby? Okay,
Yeah.
well, we'll have to we'll plug you on our tweet.
Yeah, we'll shout you out at the end.
I don't come out nice, man. I'm just kind of ruthless on those things. The complete opposite of positive.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, man, thanks for calling up.
All right, man.
All right, love you.
All right, man. Later.
Bye.
Later. Well, that was a pleasant surprise. It is Havstradamus.
It is Havstradamus.
So if you guys want to get a hold of Cousin Jay, hey, listen, if you guys want to talk about anything Philadelphia related, go ahead and hook up with this guy because he will talk your ear off about Philly stuff. It's at Havstradamus. JAVSTRODOMUS. Havstradamus.
Havstradamus. I like that one.
I like that handle. That's pretty
nice.
cool.
Illuminahavi was pretty good too.
It's a bitch to spell.
Yeah. If you're not,
But for any of our Philly fans, you guys want to talk Philly, any kind of Philly stuff, please reach out to him. He will be you'll have a friend for life. The guy can talk about Philly stuff forever and a day.
He had good timing because we were going to start talking about the National League. He
was cutting into your time, so the floor is yours.
That's okay. Again, where we left off, there's quite a few teams in the National League that I think should really make a push. Man.
Do you think the Giants are going to be buyers or sellers? Because Listen, I want to know because I want to know what's going to happen with Madison Bumgarner. That's the only reason I care. But I'm dying to know because I want to know if this guy's going to stay in San Francisco or if he's going to be shipped out somewhere. And if so, where does he go? To me, that is the biggest possible moving piece. And I'm dying to know what's going to happen with it.
I don't have the inside scoop, but I'm going to tell you what I think. I think they should be sellers. Bruce Bochy, this is his final season. Bumgarner, I feel his time is kind of up there. They don't have really player-friendly contracts.
Yeah.
I don't see them, even if they were to make the playoffs, I don't see them getting past the Dodgers, the Braves, any of the Central teams.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I think right now is actually the best time for the Giants to sell because they're playing so well, and the value could strengthen.
It's a little bit higher. Yeah.
So they could really revamp their farm system or their major league ready players. So I think they should be sellers. Will they? I think they will. I think they'll be sellers, and I think Bumgarner. Again. If I'm a team like Cousin Jay said, the Phillies, the Braves, you look at
the Nationals,
but I think they have enough pitching.
If you got those four guys,
yeah, but they need more bullpen.
Yeah.
But another team like the Cardinals, who have their pitching has really struggled. They have Dakota Hudson is like their pitcher with the most wins.
Yeah.
The only pitcher on their rotation with the double digit wins. So the Cardinals could really use Bumgarner, I think.
I'll tell you who else could use him and could make a serious push, and that's the A's. The A's already have a pretty decent pitching staff. If you bring an anchor like Madison Bumgarner in there, you could really turn some stuff around over there. And with Chris Davis hitting 247.
That's right. A consistent 247.
So we've gotten to the part of this show where I'm going to make you mad.
Okay.
So for everyone watching on YouTube, this should be fun because we're going to watch Alex's head explode.
I'm not going to get mad anymore. I refuse to get mad on this podcast, so good luck.
Don't make me say it. Don't make me say the words Hall of Fame.
Oh, it doesn't. I'm unfazed anymore.
Okay, so I found something else that will piss him off. So here's the deal that the Mets made for Stroman. Toronto got Anthony Kay.
Damn.
Mets number 4 prospect.
Damn.
And Simeon Woods Richardson, their number 6 prospect.
What a horrible trade. Those guys were keepers, man. I promise I wasn't going to get mad.
Here we go.
Who else?
That's it. Isn't that enough?
That's it? Wow.
The 4 and 6 best prospects. The number 4 and number 6 prospect in the pipeline for Stroman on a team that is not going to contend. Give me your thoughts, Alex.
My thoughts automatically shift to Syndergaard. Is he gonna now? Does that mean that he's gonna get moved,
or not?
Or because now we have 6 starters.
Well, Vargas is a goner, right?
Well, no, dude, Vargas has been pitching fantastic for the Mets ever since they talked about him moving to the bullpen or whatever, or trading him. He's been our best pitcher, I think.
So,
wow, that's an interesting.
Yeah, so
trade.
you've got DeGrom, Syndergaard, they're not moving. And then you've got.
You don't think so?
I mean, in the rotation, right?
Oh, right.
So they're 1, 2. They're not moving. Stroman will slot in at 3.
Right.
Then 4, 5, 6. Because you're right. There's 6. Would be Wheeler, Matz, and Vargas. Which one of those ends up either shipped or to the bullpen?
You know what, man? As bad as the Mets bullpen has been, this is the time to turn to a 6-man rotation. Plain and simple. I think this is. I really no.
Don't you
seriously?
think it would be better to move Vargas to the bullpen?
No.
The bullpen needs help.
It does need help.
I think they made this move to help the bullpen.
I don't know, man.
I think one of those 3 guys, and my bet would be Vargas over Matz. I don't think they will move Wheeler.
Yeah, but Vargas has been your best pitcher. Why disrupt that?
But he's not going to be your best pitcher for long.
Right, maybe not, but up until now, he's been our best pitcher for like the past 2 months. I mean, that's a lot of starts.
But you know that's not going to last. The Mets know that's not going to last.
I don't know.
I can't believe you're taking this as well. I'm kind of pissed because.
Well, no. Well, wait. You're pissed at the return that we got, or what we gave up? For Stroman?
Yeah. First of all, I don't understand why we're dealing for Stroman.
I don't know either.
We're 6 games out in the wild card. We're not catching up.
I mean, that's not a lot of games. That's really not a lot of games.
That's enough.
I mean,
that's enough that I wouldn't be shipping out my number 4 and my number 6 prospect.
I don't know, man. Maybe they know something we don't know.
That Woods Richardson kid is good.
Is that the 4 or the 6?
That was the 6. And if I know that guy's good, that Anthony K guy must be really good because he was 4.
You have to think Syndergaard is a goner. He's a goner. I'm almost.
Hold on, but
he's a goner.
This makes no sense to me. So you think that because we went out and got Stroman, and we gave up some healthy stuff for him.
They're prospects though.
They're good prospects. 4 and 6 is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, but
they weren't like just have some players.
Yeah, but these are baseball. They're a crapshoot.
Yeah.
They're a crapshoot. But go ahead.
So you think that we made a deal for a frontline starter?
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be a 1 here.
No.
But he's probably a 2.
More like,
right?
3.
On the average baseball team, he's probably a 2. Not many teams have DeGrom, Syndergaard, right? Like, he's not going to be a 2 on the Nationals with Scherzer and Strasburg. And he's not going to be a 2 here. But he'd be a 2. He'd be a 2 on the Yankees.
No, he wouldn't.
Who would you put ahead of him?
Well, yeah, he probably would. Maybe. He'd be a 2 or a 3. I think a 3.
Call him a 2.5, right? Still, pretty good.
Yeah.
So you think we would take a step back in starting pitching, right? Because we would bring him in and then ship out Syndergaard,
right? To get.
Are we gonna get? What are we gonna get for Syndergaard? We better get a hell of a lot more than a 4 and a 6.
Well, I'll tell you what. The Yankees are pretty hungry for a starter, and I'm pretty sure that they would be willing to deal us something good. And the only way is
they're not. The Yankees don't roll that way.
I
take it back. The Yankees do roll that way. They just don't roll that way with the Mets.
Right, because
they put the Mets over their knee whenever they want.
Right, but this is a good time for the Mets to return the favor. And you want Syndergaard, you can have him, but we want some of your best prospects or major league ready ball players that you have on your team right now. Look, the Yankees need pitching more than we need to make a deal. So
True. Wouldn't it be great though if we were able to send Syndergaard and Cano and get Gleyber Torres and a bunch of prospects?
I would need more than Torres, but yeah, I mean, we could start with that's a start.
Well, I'm just thinking to make the second base switch.
Yeah, I mean,
God knows Cano is terrible. Although he hit 3 home runs the other night.
Yeah, vintage Cano.
Terrible.
I mean, I don't know what the Mets are doing, but we got to figure they're training Syndergaard.
Speaking of Cano, do you get that skeptical look on your face when you see Nelson Cruz mashing home runs again?
I mean, he's been smashing home runs for quite some time, though. He's been doing it for a while.
Yeah, but this season he's kind of come back with a vengeance.
Yeah,
and it kind of can, like if I'm a Twins fan, I think it's great. If I'm a Cleveland fan, I'm like,
Yeah.
Has the testing crew been up to Minnesota?
Right. Yeah.
Have they been up to Target Field to?
It wouldn't surprise me, right? I mean, they were teammates, so.
Well, and he's already failed once.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of makes me wonder.
So we had a rare feat in baseball this week. 4 straight games, a player had a 3-run home run game. That's amazing.
You said that completely wrong.
No, I didn't. I said for 4 straight games.
For 4 straight days.
Oh, 4 straight days. Whatever. Same shit.
We had a player hit
yes.
3 home runs.
Yes, in one game.
In one
Yes.
Instead of 3-run home run. 3-run home run happens.
Oh, did I say 3-run home run? I don't remember.
Yeah, that was. And the funny thing was, it was old guy, young guy, old guy, young guy.
I don't even remember who they were. Cano,
Cruz, Betts, and De Jong.
That's right, from the Cardinals.
Do you say De Jong or do you say De Jong?
I mean, if it's got a... Thank God it's not a D.
I say...
Dong.
I say... Well, Jong sounds a little too close to dong for me. So I say De Jong. To sound more sophisticated.
Yeah, well... I think Jong sounds cooler.
Yeah, but it also sounds awfully close to dong.
Well, you gotta pronounce your J's.
I decided to go with the silent yay. J.
Yeah.
Yay, the silent yay.
Yay.
Hey, that's what we should start calling him. Cousin Yay.
Cousin Yay.
Cousin Yay, yo.
Yay. Chachi, got the Ayo.
Well, hey, we'll have a lot to talk about next week because the trade deadline will have come and gone.
Yeah.
And we'll get all of our questions answered. What are the Mets doing? Is Madison Bumgarner going anywhere? Will someone trade for Arrieta? Nick Castellanos? Will the Yankees make a move? Will the Astros make a move? There's a lot. This week could be pretty interesting.
I hope so, because it's been dead up until now.
It's been kind of quiet. Yeah,
So,
it has been a relatively quiet season.
do you think maybe it's Major League Baseball telling teams not to leak things to their insiders, right? Just so there can be a little more juice at least a day or two right before the deadline? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
what I've
the
noticed
talk-
this year is there have been more early trades.
Right.
Usually the trades, they all come in like the 29th, 30th, and 31st. We've had trades for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but
smaller trades, but still we've had like 6 or 7 trades, which I find a little odd, but
yeah, I don't know. It's been weird.
yeah,
It's been weird, but oh well.
Well, it's the same. It was before the season started. It was weird where it took forever for Manny Machado and Bryce Harper to sign. It's been the player movement thing has been pretty weird in general this year.
If you're the Phillies, do you trade Bryce Harper?
No one's going to take that contract.
What do you mean nobody's going to take that contract? Somebody will take that contract.
There's only a couple teams that are going to take it, and they've already said no to him. Right?
Mm.
The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, the Cubs.
I mean, think about if the Phillies trade Harper to like the Indians for Bauer and maybe another pitching prospect, and just take over that. I mean, that'll
blow
be
it all up.
Not really blow it all up. They're not trading all of their rotation, just 1 or 2 pieces. But think about the bat that they would have right there in the middle of the lineup. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah. In the American League, where the pitching's a little bit weaker, I think.
Yeah. And you have a DH.
Yeah. You could DH.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Episode 85.
85. Famous number 85.
Ocho Cinco, baby.
That's a no-brainer, right? Like, I mean, the guy is made for this episode.
That's right.
His name is Ocho Cinco, which, for those of you that are not bilingual, 85.
He should have called up.
Because that's not the way. Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty close to the.
He should have been our special guest on this pod.
We should have called.
There's got to be another 85 we're not thinking about.
Wes Welker.
Is he 85?
He was 85.
87.
Yeah,
I can't think of one.
There was a wide receiver.
A white receiver?
A wide receiver for the Jets back in the 80s.
Oh.
Who was blind in one eye, who wore number 85. I can't for the life of me remember his name.
I don't know.
He wasn't great or anything, but he was pretty good. The Jets were awful back then. 85. Who else?
I can't think of another one. 85.
Antonio Gates.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a very
85.
good one. That's a Hall of Fame. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Close. Let's not get into Hall of Fame.
Let's not get
Let's not get into Hall of Fame. Hey, if you guys want to catch some really interesting stuff this week, you as well, go on to YouTube on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and check out the CrossFit Games. Have you ever seen the CrossFit Games?
No.
So, for those of you that are not familiar with CrossFit, it's basically blitz exercise, right? Like they do some ridiculous stuff. They do, 50 pull-ups with a 50-pound vest, and they do all this stuff for time. They drag a 200-pound sled. They did a marathon row, so they got on a rowing machine and rowed row your boat, 26.2 miles. I mean, it's sick. All the stuff that they do, and they do all kinds of crazy exercises, and it's always for time, right?
Right.
So the way it works this year is they have 140 qualified athletes, men and women, and they start cutting them until they get down to 20 on the last day. I think it's 20 on the last day.
20 male and female? Or
right.
Mixed?
Right. No. It's so there's 140 men, 140 women. And they do all these crazy exercises. And here's the best part. They don't know what the events are until 5 minutes before they do them.
Wow.
They literally get them together and they say, here it is. They hand out the flyers. This is what you got to do. There's one called the Murph where they do a 1 mile run, and then it's like 300 push-ups, 200 pull-ups, 200 squats, and then another mile run at the end. I mean, it's crazy. And you look at these people and they are jacked.
Yeah, I would probably pass out after the second.
It's amazing. But let me tell you something. It is super fun to watch, and it is awe-inspiring to see what those people do. I mean, and the part that I find amazing, I never see any of them puke. And I don't understand, because I would have barfed like quick. But they do all kinds. They climb ropes. I mean, it's phenomenal.
That's pretty crazy.
It's phenomenal, and it's going to be on YouTube this week. So if you get a chance,
only on YouTube.
Yeah, they don't have it on TV.
I thought that
YouTube, Facebook.
In the past, has it been on ESPN?
In the past,
right?
it's been on ESPN or Fox, I think. But they're getting away from that model. They're going strictly digital, right? They're going strictly internet. So you can catch it on YouTube or Facebook. The CrossFit Games, it's, about, I think, 5 or 6 events every day.
Damn.
And they start cutting down, and it's just, I don't know how they do it. I mean, one of those events would kill me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. After the second one, maybe I'll be ready to pass out.
And not only would you be ready to pass out, you'd be dead last. You know what I mean? Like, because they do it for time. So they do these events, and it takes them like 20 minutes to do all these exercises. It would take me like a full day, and then I'd be dead. So anyway, if you're interested, check that out. You got a shout out?
No shout out today.
My shout out goes to Cyborg. Christine Cyborg from the UFC. She won her fight last night at UFC 240 against Felicia Spencer. Let me tell you something. It's easy to be a champion. It's easy to win. You see the true heart of a champion when they come back after a loss. Christine Cyborg lost her first fight 13 years ago. She lost another fight 6 months ago. And she had to come back from a devastating knockout. She fought Felicia Spencer last night at UFC 240. She got cut pretty early in the fight. Felicia Spencer is a big girl. Usually Cyborg is bigger than her opponents. This time I think Felicia Spencer was a little bit bigger. And Felicia Spencer brought it. Pushed the pace. Pressed her up against the cage. Tried to get her down to the ground. All that stuff. And Cyborg toughed it out. Fought 3 tough rounds to win a unanimous decision. And called out Amanda Nunes for a rematch. But the amount of pressure on that gal, last fight on her contract, right? If she loses, her value goes down. If she wins, her value goes up. She bet on herself. Usually they renegotiate the contract before the last fight. She bet on herself. She said, I'm not going to renegotiate. I'm just going to fight. Magnificent performance. Really just incredible that she was able to hold off Felicia Spencer. And, I mean, she won the fight. She dominated the fight. And, again, that shows the true heart of a champion. It's easy when you're winning in 1 minute, 2 minutes in the first round, and you're knocking people out. It's much, much harder to come back from a defeat once the aura of invincibility has been stripped away from you. It is much harder to deal with these women. it's much harder to deal with these opponents. And she did a fantastic job last night. Hats off to Christine Cyborg. Awesome fight. Also on the card last night, Max Holloway defended his featherweight championship. There's really no one else left for him at featherweight, I don't think. Maybe Volkanovski, but that's about it.
I bet you Cyborg could do the CrossFit Games because she's fucking...
She's jacked.
She could probably take the
I
women's...
told you I met Cyborg once, right?
Did you?
Yeah. We were at a bar one time, a buddy of mine and I. We were at a bar watching the UFC, a pay-per-view.
Uh-huh.
We're sitting there, and all of a sudden he looks over, he goes, man, that's Cyborg over there. And I'm like, what? I look over there, bar's kind of dark. And it's Cyborg. He's like, oh, let's go over there and say hi. I'm like, hell no. We say the wrong thing, that chick will tie us up into a pretzel.
Put you in a chokehold.
Yeah, and this is right before she got into the UFC. And I went over, eventually we went over, we got a picture taken with her. I stood next to her. Oh my God. She's shorter than I am. Right, I'm 6 foot, a little over 6 foot. She is 5'10", I want to say.
I thought she was a little taller than that.
No, but just jacked.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I have to walk in a dark alley, I'm staying with you.
Yeah, you definitely want to be friends with her.
Yeah, and you know what? She is super nice.
Yeah.
Super friendly. She was just cool as could be. So she's a really, really cool person. Anyway.
Sweet.
All right, so we've come to the end of another wonderful episode of the Positive Sports Podcast. As always, thank you very much for listening and watching, commenting and liking, all that neat stuff. We appreciate it. Again, if you want to get a hold of the show, you can do so via email, positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of this guy, how do they do that?
On Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho 1.
And if you want to get a hold of me, you can do so on Twitter as well, at eMontana21. If you want to talk Philadelphia, hit up Cousin Jay at Havstradamus, JAVSTRODOMUS, Havstradamus.
Country of origin?
Yes. I'm surprised I remembered how to spell that. But yeah, if you want good Philly talk, hit that guy up. He knows a thing or two. Actually, a lot. And as always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.